How to tell my cousin, M33, that he can't invite people to my F32 home. My cousin is dating this new girl for about 6 months. We had a Halloween party and I sent him an evite with the info. Then he texted me and said that he and his girlfriend can come. I said great. 2 days later he texted to ask if his girlfriend's sister and the sister's boyfriend can come. I said, okay sure. A day later he texts me and asked if their friend who is in town can come. I said well who is she? He told me and I was getting annoyed, but I said okay fine. Then the night before the party he asks if we have room for 2 more to invite his friend from high school and the friend's wife. I said no, we have a cap at 20 people and at this point he's bringing 3 extra people and wants to bring 5 extra people, and that he cannot invite them. So he replies and said that's fine. A few hours later he texted and said his girlfriend and her friends, family are vegan, so it would be great if I could have organic, vegan, all-natural alcohol. I said that he has to bring his own because I don't know what that is and if he wants to accommodate her he should bring his own. The day of the party, he texted me and said he didn't realize there was a cap on the party and his friend's wife already got a babysitter for the night, which means he already invited them. At this point I was over it and said fine they could come. Party was fine but I made a mental note not to let him do that again. It's worth mentioning this is our brand new house and our first time hosting parties with fiends and family because our new house is big enough for us to do it. Now for Thanksgiving, I send him a text saying, this invite is for you, your kids, your girlfriend and her son. Let me know if you can make it and what food you'll bring. He just texted me back with this. Would you be down for my girlfriend, girlfriend's son, her sister, the sister's boyfriend, my girlfriend's mom, and my girlfriend's dad to come to Thanksgiving? That's him plus 8, he has 2 kids. I want to say no, he is already trying to take advantage of us and we have never met these strangers. What's the best way to do this so he gets it that our house is not an open door for him? He needs to start throwing his own parties. This is time to be blunt. No, as mentioned just for you guys, no one else. Just say no. Why are you putting yourself in a stressful situation? If he doesn't come then fine but say no. Just say no? You keep saying yes and wondering why he keeps pushing? Say no. If he doesn't respect that or gets pissy, revoke his invite and refuse to let him in until he can respect you and your home. I'm sorry but I'm not able to accommodate so many people. Only you, your GF, and your kids and hers. It sounds like you and her want to spend the holidays with her family. If you are unable to make it to my place, I completely understand. His friend's wife already got a babysitter for the night, which means he already invited them. I'm confused here. You can cancel a babysitter. Why didn't you just say no to this? Is this perspective on abortion different from the usual ones? For context, I, 24F, and my fiancé, 29M, have been together for 2 years and are planning to get married next year. He proposed a month after we celebrated our 1-year anniversary. We truly love each other and after a plethora of very mentally abusive and neglectful relationships I've been in, I am over the moon that I found my soulmate and someone as wonderful as he has been for the past 2 years. We are very open on a myriad of different subjects, and one of the most controversial ones is abortion. Both he and I are pro-choice, although he is slightly more restrictive in his opinions, but in the end it always comes down to woman's body and woman's choice. During our last convo I asked him how would he react in a hypothetical case that we weren't together and another girl he's with decided to terminate because she doesn't want a child currently. And while I have heard a lot of different opinions about termination, this one I have heard for the first time and he said if he found himself in such a situation he would be there for his partner and all, but his willingness to try for a child again would be significantly decreased. As in, it would take quite a lot of talking to convince him to try for another baby again. His reasoning is that no matter how hard he would try to forget the first child, the thought of her, him would always be in a part of his brain and he wouldn't be able to completely forget it. He wouldn't blame the partner, he wouldn't be mad or weaponize that against the girl, but it would be much harder for him to find a legitimate reason to try for a child again. I just wanted to ask others and hear the comments on that perspective since I haven't heard something like this from a man, so it was quite new to me. It sounds fine to me? You can respect a woman and her choice while still being sad, upset by what happened. It seems reasonable that someone might have complicated feelings about future pregnancies after their partner has an abortion. The important thing is that he also said he wouldn't guilt a woman about it or weaponize it against her. Of course this is a valid opinion. It's not because abortion is a woman's choice, because it's her bodily autonomy, that her partner would necessarily be emotionless about the experience. My husband hasn't been home in 2 weeks and won't answer my calls. A few weeks ago me, 29 female, and my husband, 28 male, got into an very heated argument where out of anger I told him that it's a possibility our daughter, 4 female, might not be his, but the truth is I didn't cheat. I was actually assaulted by a former friend of his. They fell out because of an unrelated situation that I never told him about until now. After getting a test it came back that she wasn't his, so he packed up his stuff and went to his sister's house because he feels like I'm lying about being assaulted and am only using it to cover up my cheating. The problem now is he won't speak to his daughter. She keeps asking for her daddy and he won't pick up, and told his sister to not let us in when we went over there to check on him. I want to save my marriage and fix our family, I just don't know where to start. I mean, you weaponized the fact your daughter isn't his. I don't think I'd believe you either about being assaulted. I mean, you insinuated that you cheated, and he probably thinks anything you say now is just backtracking and rewriting history. Sorry you had that experience. But you made the choice to say something that he probably now takes as the truth. Why would you weaponize your own assault? Like, what the fuck? What you said to him was cruel. You imploded your marriage because you were angry. Anything you say to him will seem deceptive and untrustworthy. Why didn't you test paternity 3 or even 4+ years ago and speak to him? When you saw her, did you notice features which seemed not quite right? You haven't treated him right. He has a right to think and decide to leave. My boyfriend hates my dog. I have a Chihuahua and I know it's not the easiest dog. He's very attached to me and can be very aggressive to strangers. Introducing my dog to new people is a whole process. When I met my boyfriend I told him exactly about the whole situation with my dog and he made it sound like our loves dogs. At his parents' house they have many pets and he's not threatened by this situation. After a while of being together all of the sudden he doesn't want him on furniture. My dog was always allowed on the couch and bed and I'm open to compromise, but I feel a little cheated and that I was told differently at the beginning. He doesn't want me to hold him because he says that's what makes him aggressive. And then he even started telling me not to pet him because he smells. He always says this dog smells even after the groomer. I don't think it's true. He even talks about my dog in a mean way in front of friends and family. I am very frustrated by this situation. I don't pet my dog as much because I try to get along with my boyfriend, and every time I look at my dog I feel like crying because I feel that I abandoned him for this relationship. I can't wait to spend nights without my boyfriend so I can bring my dog in the bed. I feel that all I do for my dog anymore is just take him on walks, feeding him and very rarely petting him. I don't know what normal anymore with dogs because I'm made to feel that this attachment is unhealthy or not normal. Would be grateful to hear opinions and advice. The dog was there before the man and he will stay after the man. I bet you wouldn't feel comfortable having your boyfriend watch your dog alone, and that is very telling. I can understand some people not wanting animals in bed or in the furniture. But telling you not to pet him is ridiculous. If my boyfriend ever told me those things about my cats I'd be gladly showing him the door. I love dogs. I have 2 wonderful pups and I foster regularly. My first dog was a Chihuahua and he will always have a special place in my heart. That said, my mother got a Chihuahua about 10 years ago and she is territorial as fuck and absolutely hates me. After years of trying every possible method to get her to accept me, I've just resigned myself to us being enemies for life. Your boyfriend is definitely a dick for insinuating that loving your dog is a flaw, even though I understand his frustration. Maybe find yourself a more mature man who can handle a dog being itself without delivering ultimatums.